Ladies and gentlemen, that suspense is now here for you to see what agents have been selected, and we'll be hopping in to map number 3. Team Mixwell up against Team Draken. Mixwell, of course, on the defense and Draken on the offense. Mixwell going to be on the Jet, something that we are now, I'm not quite sure if you played it on the Haven map, but playing it here now on Ascent. A good switch from Viper. I know that there are a couple of one-ways for Viper, but still the Jet going to allow him to up to his heart's desire, and especially mid being so open. That's exactly where he's going to be playing from the looks like.
I mean, we said it in the pregame, talking about that Jet play. You know, Mixwell likely to play that mid role as Jet, using the escapability, and that's exactly what it looks like we're going to see. Draken, though, will be the Jet that strikes first, taking down the Sage on the other side. So they'll lose their heals for the pistol round, which might be a bit punishing. Back at distance, you've got Draken trying to take the long-distance duel towards the fruit market. There's the dark cover and the paranoia coming out, and CREA and Mixwell both push through, and it works out real nicely for this defending side. It's all down to 1 now, as EC1S falls as the Omen. It's the Cypher. Bonkar with the deep range jumping dink shot coming in from the Classic, followed up by another headshot onto Mixwell. Absolutely ridiculous, but no rampage here. Just the 1 kill coming in as Orb closes things out for Team Mixwell in the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, again, for the side of Team Draken, it's hard to penetrate in through the mid courtyard. Not much you can do other than try to push in aggressively and use smokes as a potential option to push in. Seeing Draken already start with the Marshall, going to start sniping early. 2 quick kills for him in that previous round, and now moving on to the second.
This should do.
Great. Oh, sorry. That was, oh, wait. Even on a loss, it is an investment from Team Draken to get that Marshall in play. I'm interested to see how that decides to pan out. He's going to be going up against Mixwell, who's also playing in towards mid, but already a kill onto Patitek. Off to a rough start.
Cover going out.
CREA there with the pistol. Drops Ocelot. You'll see davidp get involved as well. davidp swapping over to the Sage here, finding 2 kills on the round. You've got Bonkar coming in with the Frenzy. Not a single kill coming out for Team Draken, which is going to bode well for Team Mixwell moving into the next round, as that allows them to build up some amount of money. Let's see how they decide to approach it. There is going to be at least 1 rifle. So Draken CREA gonna go for the operator. davidp picking up the rifle. The rest of the team, though, gonna be on SMGs. And honestly, I kind of count the Bulldog as an SMG. It's not necessarily an SMG, but it's like the Galil or the FAMAS in Counter-Strike, just not as strong as the other rifles. But we'll see if it ends up being a problem or not, as Team Draken's got full force coming in. davidp, the only one that bought that full-fledged rifle here, able to make it work early on.
Well, hiding in the smoke. It's about to dissipate off on the other side. There's a couple of members that are waiting for him. The spray down's good onto Draken. Swaps over for the Vandal. Losing that Bulldog's got to feel good. Going to set him up with the Cloudburst and have complete mid control. On the opposite side, they'll start the funnel on in. It's quick kills for Carlos and Patitek before it's answered back from Fatinho and davidp. All up to the last and final member here from Team Draken. Bonkar got himself a Phantom. Not really a lot of utility left for him. He's got the spike in tow, of course, but up against the 1v3, especially on a map like Ascent, it's going to be an uphill battle for him to reclaim some territory.
This is where you're really going to be put to the test as a team, is on a map like Ascent or on a map like Split. Everyone's played Bind and Haven. Everyone's played Bind and Haven a million times. But when you start transitioning over to maps like this, as Bonkar goes down by CREA's up, that's when you start to get tested, and you start to see the level of preparation that comes in and the level of experience as well. Any player who's been playing this at a competitive level will likely have put in at least a modicum of time towards Split and Ascent. Here's the thing too, though. It is a defense-sided map, so we can't necessarily look at these early round scores and say, oh, Mixwell is destroying Team Draken, because when things swap over, we could see the same story play back for the opposition. So it's important on a map like Ascent or on a map like Split to really reserve your judgment until the second half comes around. But at the same point in time, you will see, based on approaches and styles of play, the level of preparation. Even if rounds aren't going their way, you can still respect the work that's been put in.
I also feel like if you're on the offense, you got to try some funky stuff in order to break through some of these choke points on Ascent. And we're already seeing that attempt start to come through. Something that surprised me recently is the Stinger. He's a little bit more credit than I feel like people give it for. Can do a lot of damage. And sometimes even the better buy than the Spectre, but not seeing a lot of people pick it up as of yet. Usually the Spectre is the SMG that wins over a lot of people's hearts. A great barrier orb to stop the push in, but little do they know it's on the other side. 2 quick kills. It's davidp that's defending the site with his life. Draken trying to get those knives to connect, but the Spectre not going to seal the deal either. And now the rest of Team Mixwell on the site trying to make things a little bit more interesting, but I like this play from EC1S. Closes the door behind him ever so gently, and now making his way over to B.
The door. That's the gimmick, the doors on this map. You have the portals on Bind, 3 sites on Haven. Split probably the most vanilla of all the maps when you think about it. It's got the ropes. I guess that's basically its gimmick. The gimmick here is going to be the doors. 1 on each site. On the B site, you've got the door in Market. And on the A site, you've got the door into Tree Room. This B site, so hard to take, but when you get control of it, it can be a lot easier to hold. So many choke points, so many narrow hallways. You've got this 1v1, and he's back in the muck, back between the arches. Peeking left and right, trying to spot them out. EC1S may not have seen them coming through, but now here's the footsteps as they start to work their way in. Missed shot from CREA. There's the double peek, though, and there's just really not much you can do about that. Well timed by Mixwell and CREA. They'll go ahead and stick the spike, and the round will be Mixwell's to take. The fact that they even got a spike plant out of that, though, is testament to the work put in by EC1S.
Yeah, I mean, the quick rotate over from A after things went a little sour for Team Draken. I feel like at that point he got seen, and even if he ended out with a kill, it's, you know, the flick transition may have not even been there, and it would have just been a quick trade regardless. But to have both members survive, economy is going to be in great shape for the side of Team Mixwell. On the side of Team Draken, however, they will get their full buys this round, and we'll see how that will end up panning out for them. The spike so far poised and ready towards A, but the team is split to gather information on both sides. And it's Mixwell in the middle, who's ready to fight for control.
CREA, early shot coming out on that operator. Gonna spot another one, as well as the omen for the opposite side falls. In the meantime, Carlos at least did find a kill and is going to go ahead and pop that ult, run it back towards the B site, or the A site, excuse me. The A site likely to be where you're going to find more success. The missed shot coming in from CREA, but ocelote's going to have to wind back in time and run that path back yet again. CREA still here in position. Wow. It's going to be the collateral. One through the dome of Patitek. Draken right behind falls as well. It's now down to 2. It's going to be Ocelote and the Cypher. That is frustrating. Bonkar now rotating over to try and support Carlos. But CREA has single-handedly stopped Team Draken dead in their tracks.
I'm at a loss for words there. That was an insane collateral coming out from CREA. Now all up to 2 members here. Carlos. And it's going to be Bonkar on the opposite side. They take down Orb, which would started off as a little bit of an aggressive engagement. Now Carlos will be the one that falls as well. It's Bonkar all up to him. He's going to push in through the cyber cage on the opposite side. It's Fatinho waiting for him with open arms. 5-0 start here for Team Mixwell, but again, similar to how we touched on those early rounds, it could be a completely different story once it comes to that second half. Having a quick look at the replay. Shabam! Shabuski. Good night. 2 quick kills. CREA making it look easy.
Strong play coming in from CREA as the omen. We highlighted Mixwell more as that op performer for the side of Team Mixwell, but CREA making a case for himself. Here comes the aggressive B play. They're just going to try and overwhelm with numbers, and thus far it's worked out well. Mixwell is at least there with 1 shot out of the op, but the site has been compromised, and the spike is going to be planted in a moment. The ult gets popped, the neural theft, all positions told out there to the now defending side, who was on attack working their way into B. The ult gets popped by Mixwell, so the knives are going to come out, but the wall is down. Going to have to updraft over that one if he wants to. There's one right outside the market, right around the corner, hiding by these pipes. The Owl Drone not able to put a dart into the belly. They're going to try and dive bomb Draken, but Draken just punishes davidp for the aggressive play. Draken now from inside this position, playing close outside the market, finding yet another before finally Mixwell ends the rampage. Now the knive's going to come out, but it's just too late. 2 players survive, Team Draken get themselves back on the scoreboard.
Really, that was on the back of Draken holding in probably the best possible position that he could have been in. It was unfortunate for Team Mixwell. They weren't able to get rid of that pesky Jet player. And it bodes well. They come out with a round, and like we've been talking about, the story of Ascent is any round that the attackers can get is worth like 5 rounds, you know? It has so much weight, and the repercussions of that moving forward can be really good for Team Draken. Let's see if they can put on a couple of more, because that's going to be the name of the game in this first half. But Team Mixwell, they've got 3 ultimates, and one of those is a res. Going to be a good round for them.
davidp getting the action started early, taking down Eccles, who was there as the Omen. You've got Mixwell right around the corner in mid as well, the opposite side of the Kench bench. Mixwell waiting for the push to come through, knows there's one around the corner, but there's the Hunter's Fury. It's actually over on the B site, sending waves through the wall, but not taking anyone out. It was Mixwell in mid who managed to spot Patitek on the way away. Draken with a shot back, though, from the operator. Shock dart going in towards B. Carlos on the receiving end of that one does take care of the recon dart, so not going to have to worry about that pulse spotting out position. Flame wall going down, so Carlos can potentially escape or even sneak their way into the site. Even though they walk into it for a moment, Carlos manages to sneak in and has not been spotted. Now gets spotted on the cross. They know that he's here. The ult coming out from the Omen as well to try and support back inside the arches. The spike, though, is still in Draken's hands, moving up slowly in mid, trying to backstab the market.
Oh, Carlos. This is the definition of a rock in a hard place. A couple of shots going through the hut. He's going to get dinged by one. 75 HP on him. Coutinho finally takes him down. Door not closed yet, but Draken now has to beeline over towards A. Finds himself in rotation right into the crosshair of davidp. Takes him down. Defenders back on the board with another round. 6-1 with a few more rounds remaining in the half. Team Draken, I believe they're now going to be down to the Eco or the Force Buy, and we'll see them back up into full shape in the following round.
Mixwell on the op, CREA on the op as well. CREA having a great game, 8-1, currently only 1 death. Again, put an asterisk on this first half. It is a very defense-sided map. That B site is very difficult to take on the attacking side. There's only really 1 primary entrance outside of trying to gain mid control. Wow. And there's CREA again. This is what he did the last time they tried to push A, wow. And he's going to repeat the performance. 3 kills coming in from CREA. There's 1 more long. The last player all the way back in spawn. It's the Omen inside the smoke. Tries to port through. Does work out well. CREA is going to at least miss 1 shot, but Orb is there with the trade. It's a 3-on-1 now with Bonkar coming in from main with just a classic. A 7th round more than likely here as Mixwell peeks out wide. Again, they just cannot get past these ops.
Yeah, I think especially in a scenario like this, you've got Mixwell himself who can play with the operator, and we've seen time and time again as well, CREA with the operator, especially in this map specifically. This is one of those maps where I feel like double op is just so rough to get through. You find yourself on the receiving end of some bullets. Unfortunately, they won't opt in for the double op, but I feel like it's such a good combination and can really hurt the opposition. They can't push through. They'll just get bullet after bullet, and in some cases, like we've seen before, a collateral. But now, Team Draken, they've got the weaponry to play. Let's see how they make work of this round.
Carlos, a few tap shots towards short. Did see one kind of jiggle out. Kind of curious to see, like, what is Team Draken going to do? Where's the adjustment? At what point are they going to figure out the magic solution for trying to get past the defense of Mixwell, trying to deal with this double op look that's been so powerful between CREA and Mixwell? It does look like we're going to see a dedicated B play here, and that might fall apart real quick. Mixwell has already pushed up into mid. No op this time around. It's going to be the Phantom. If he times this right, likely to be able to have that backstab. And here we go. The fast push into the B site. Omen port back into the muck. Back on the arches. You had one playing inside the boathouse, but the defense has crumbled here. So now Mixwell trying to work in on the backside of this play has to updraft over top of the tripwire that was used to hold down the flank. Sage sitting in spawn, goes for the peek wide, will punish, but Mixwell falls. Just like that. The player he killed too brought back into the fold as Patitek goes for the res and kills the Sage. Omen Last alive, CREA with the operator. Realizing maybe it's better to save, not even going to have that opportunity. Great play coming out from Draken's side. Just a dedicated push into the B site.
Yeah, they played it slow. They were patient. And when they grabbed an inch, they took a mile as well. Carlos here now going to be not investing into an op. I believe that is something that he's going to be carrying in from that previous round. But still, Team Mixwell, they've got the economy to really keep things afloat. The boat is not sinking quite yet. But if they lose another, they'll definitely start to go back over towards Team Draken. And with a couple more rounds, that they could really start to lay on these rounds. But it's all up to them. We'll see how it starts things off. CREA not going to play towards A. He's going to play towards B now. Not expecting the op still. They're going to be able to push in aggressively. But that smoke's going to stop them dead in their tracks.
Patitek will spot out Orb early on. davidp trying to play inside the cubby over on the A site. Finally, we're seeing some action that works out for Team Draken. They've gotten control of the site. Mixwell has no choice but to open fire. And the wall on the door. This makes things a little bit harder to get through from short through the tree room. Meanwhile, Fatino peeks out wide inside the ice, still manages to escape, gets around the wall, but there's the play from EC1S, also known as Eccles, jumping up on top of the boxes, spraying down Fatino. It's all up to CREA yet again, so CREA gonna just have to save with this operator. Draken has finally found the weakness. 5-man pushes towards one location, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like just forego any mid control whatsoever and brute force your way through. And you know, in some cases, it might be kind of alluding to some of the meta theory crafting that you and I have discussed. They've got 2 flashes. They've got Phoenix. They've got Omen. Obviously, Omen having a little bit more succession, but when you follow that up with a curveball, it can be absolutely deadly. And they're proving that to be work. As well, we have to kind of point out, CREA swapping over towards B, playing with the op there. If he played towards A, could it have been a different round? Like, there's no way that we would have known unless he obviously did. Now CREA kind of gonna find himself. Carlos in the crosshair takes him down. 3 rounds here for Draken, and I have to say that is very good on the attacker side.
Yeah, and we might see more rounds come in as well. Look at the money. You know, Team Mixwell not exactly balling right now. They're gonna have to ball on a budget. After the buy comes through, though, they actually managed to put enough guns in play that you're going to see rifles across the board, except for maybe a shotgun in play here. Nope, they're still gun juggling. Yeah, there you go. They're actually able to field out the buy, although it's Fatino who's on an armorless rifle. So you have the armorless Vandal buy, which will be a little bit peculiar to see. Early on, Eccles and co. going to be spamming down the early Sage Wall put on over on the A site. CREA decides to drop down a dark cover to try and delay the push. You've got davidp playing close. The flash comes through. He's full blinded, but it's a great kill coming in from Orb, plus the neural theft to spot them out. Now they know what's coming their way. CREA through the smoke, also able to drop the Sage. That's a huge kill coming in, but there's the port into sight that they have to concern themselves with. No, never mind. Eccles taken down, and it's down to now just 2. The Jet and the Cypher, as Draken drops the Cypher for the side of Team Mixwell.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Team Mixwell not going to let that happen once again. Draken, though, going to have an aggressive position, takes out Mixwell, but they're not going to let that A push work again, and so rightfully so. Defended with honor. CREA going to be there as well with the operator. That seems to be the one recipe to success that has stayed consistent throughout this defender side at half. And just keep them there. Why even rotate towards B? If they're going to consistently bash their head against the wall towards A, just stay with the op. They funnel in, you get kills, you get a highlight reel, and CREA has been doing exactly that. 13 kills for him so far. But now playing towards mid with Mixwell, they'll have a good cross set up, but it's looking like a B push from the side of Draken to start us off.
Revealing area.
Coutinho's going to send out that recon dart early to get that intel. Responds with a shock dart after it dies almost immediately. But it is Mixwell and company to strike first. And it's going to be Draken who's actually out of play. That's a huge kill, taking down one of the top performers. Through the dark cover, they spam down Mixwell, who tried to get aggro in mid. Didn't work out so well. Meanwhile, on short, you've got davidp up high. davidp doesn't even spot Carlos, who's putting bullet after bullet into his belly. davidp using that wall, trying to eventually get the kill onto Carlos, and that's exactly what will happen. davidp has to back off, though. as Eccles slowly works their way up mid.
Yeah, decapitation at its finest. Headshot seals the deal onto Carlos now. Still 3 members strong. Make it 2. CREA will find 1. Patitek with the refrag. Makes things a little bit more interesting, but still the spike is nowhere near the site. The barrier orb will come up, but 1v3. Very difficult with 40 seconds left and a potential res. Now making it a 4v1. I believe this round should be as good as mixwell. Alt orb as well. Oh, wow. I think that's going to be another res as well, but unfortunately the members are a little bit scattered. And it's going to be difficult to get over to 1. I think the closest one is either going to be towards B or towards the potential peak spot for the attackers towards Cat. But Patitek going to opt into res orb, and it looks like around the corner he goes. Mixwell will take him down. And it's going to be a 9-3 half in favor of Mixwell.
Again, it is a very defense-sided map. So don't be surprised if we see a comeback here from Team Draken. Obviously, the disadvantage of starting on attack is that you come into a second half with a massive disadvantage, and then you lose pistol, and it can really spiral. CREA, 15-4. Strong game coming out from CREA, who is not a bad player by any sense, but wasn't necessarily a player we would have profiled as a strong performer. We would have been looking more towards the likes of team captain Mixwell, who also not playing terribly, playing well, but not necessarily as dominant as we've seen at times in the past. Here comes the pistol round, though, and it looks like mid control is going to be the name of the game here for Team Mixwell as they start to work their way out. davidp taking down draken through the smoke. They go. The flash coming in from Carlos does blind initially, but it's actually going to be Eccles, the first one here on Team Draken to spill some blood after watching 2 of his comrades fall by the wayside. The Jet taken down very low, but it doesn't stop the attacking side from continuing this push. Or able to drop Patitek. And Mixwell through the smoke says sayonara to Eccles.
What?
It's down now to just 1. Bonkar on the backside of the play. Cyber Cage going down. Bonkar's got it down to a 1-on-1. The spike's been dropped. Through the Cyber Cage goes the Sage. Gonna plant that spike over on the A site, but an impressive play from Bonkar on the late lurk through backside mid.
Yeah, spike's still gonna go down, but wowee, what a play from Bonkar. You think pressure's on when you're a last-minute substitution, especially coming into this tournament. Have to feel good about that one. Now here with the classic and a dream, gonna try to make it the ace. Last one gonna be up in heaven, but still making his way through the window. The sound of the window breaking will likely be the cue, but not going to be breaking in through quite yet. The pings are going to start to come out, looking in through hell, making sure he dots his I's and crosses his T's. With the spike, ticking down. Needs to act quickly. davidp here now with the ghost. Going to be looking in from above. Oh, sees him, spots him out. Those shots come through. The burst fire, not going to be enough. Committing to the defuse, and around the corner he goes, and Bonkar gets athletic. Jump shot, but does he have enough time? No, he does not. In the first round, going over to Mixwell.
That's so sad. After all that work, Bonkar played that so incredibly well on that late lurk. Here you can see how the kills just lined up. The Cyber Cage goes down just in time to isolate the 1v1. But look at, we'll rewind it back one more time just in case you missed it. 3 fast kills coming out from Bonkar. That last target very low on HP after early damage that was dealt. But as well as he played the flank, you got to give credit where credit is due. davidp played that really well in the post plant, playing deep up on heaven, preventing any possibility for an early exchange. Patitek going to the LMG over on the B site. Not the first time we've seen something like that, especially with that wall being oh so spammable. This attacking side feeling the pressure as the defense goes for the force, and Draken's able to connect with the Marshall.
Draken here with the Marshall. Like we're saying, not going to be quite working out quite well. From Orb going to take him down, but still now the push is going to start to come through for the attacker side. Looking for B control, and they have it. Orb going to mow down through the cage. Takes one down, and Eccles, the last one standing. You know, we talked about the potential for these rounds to really start to go over towards the defender side, but it seems like Team Mixwell really have a grasp on the run and gun style. 2 rounds now, back to back for them. And a great start for, moving on into the second half. Have the weaponry to play, have the tools at their disposal. And Mixwell looking to close things out to move on to their next game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Team Draken kind of dug their own grave here a little bit by forcing up in the last round. They put themselves in a position where now they don't have the money to buy. I get it. There's fear staring down the barrel of that scoreline, not wanting to surrender over an 11th round by bringing in just pistols into that second round. Here we see the Sage wall boost. We've seen this before as mixwell goes up top, but falls off. Was holding for the short push. Can updraft back onto it, but no, not tall enough. Unfortunate, it's a waste of the updraft and the Sage wall, but with a score of 11-3, I don't think you're super concerned when facing off against just pistols about whether or not you've blown a skill early on. The attacking side, moving up through the tree room. You've only got one playing defense on A. It's the Cypher using mostly the cam, hiding in a safe position back behind that big box, the generator on that A site.
Yeah, this mid control seemed to be really, really important for Team Mixwell. A couple of kills already traded away, but the Sheriff really going to get the job done. It's Draken defending the site, hoping that they don't push in. Takes them all down with the Sheriff down to 2 members here. Got a Marshal and a Phantom. Let's see how they make work. It's going to be the Tailwind that gets them out of a scary position. They all continue to push in. The Bulldog, sorry, not the Phantom. Around the corner they go, and it's Fatinho getting that job done. Down to the wire here for Team Draken. Around the corner they go. The Sheriffs won't connect. Yes, they will. It's Bonkar from behind. And the Frenzy will seal that deal. And Defenders putting one back on the board.
Feels like a missed opportunity there for Team Mixwell. You know, matching off against just pistols. And they just can't seem to get past them. They wander into Draken, who had the Sheriff, and just continued to punish. And then Bonkar comes in with the Frenzy as well and repeats in similar fashion.
Who will see better?
So the save should be coming in here from the attacking side. Actually, no, they're going to full buy, excuse me. So you have the operator in Mixwell's hands. You've got rifles on everyone else. This may be one of the few full rifle rounds we see in the second half if Mixwell and company are able to come out on top. Early aggression from Patitek over top of his own wall. We'll see the Sova taken and put on the sidelines. A response here from this attacking side, though, as CREA is going to drop Ocelot. That's the Phoenix going down.
Yeah, an early pick, but you know, a couple of kills already traded away. Eccles finding one onto Mixwell. Crucial member already down means things get a little bit more difficult here for Team Mixwell. Orb on the opposite side with the operator. Little does he know this is about to be a paranoia to the face. But instead they decide to smoke it through. They'll push in together. Eccles laying in wait behind the smoke. The tripwire as well seals the deals. They push in through. Now he's going to get aggressive. Nick looking for those last 2 members. Around the corner, it is CREA looking to reposition, but Eccles smells something's up, takes him down. And it's all up to davidp, and the spike's nowhere near him.
Again, we said it. Don't think that this game is over just because we had a strong first half coming in for Team Mixwell. Even though Team Draken forces in the second round and loses that force, they're somehow able to get themselves back into the game. davidp will at least do a little bit of economic punishment, but finally the round is closed out by Draken with 3 players surviving. It's a 5th round on the board for Team Draken, as Team Mixwell now will be on pistols. So an opportunity for Team Draken to fight back. Again, map 1 was a bit one-sided at first. It was 10-5 at one point, and then Team Draken brought it back, ultimately losing 13-11. So it was still a close game. Here's the play from Eccles as well. Heard the port, so knew that CREA was somewhere nearby. Peeks to the left, catches the Cypher off guard. CREA not able to fire away in time to offer any support. Good play from Eccles.
Yeah, I feel like if you're Team Mixwell, you're starting to wonder, how can we break through the defense? How can we make a dent in the armor?
Cover going out.
So far, they just want to close things out. All they need is 2 really good rounds. We've seen already a few on the attacker side. A great wall from Patitek to try to stop this push through. Now going to be playing up and over. It's going to be 1 kill that so far comes through. They'll break that wall down, but they'll be making their way in. Little do they know, up above, there's a pesky little Sage. Now they'll make their way through onto the site. They've broken through, but they still need to get that spike down. Carlos here with the operator, gonna find one. Looking for that second, tries to get that quick shot, but Mixwell up and over, sending those smokes down as well. Carlos, the spike is down. Stop worrying so much about Mixwell, but still now it's Draken getting back on the site. Carlos with 1. Gets sprayed down by CREA.
I like that play from CREA too, using that orb to wrap around the corner into the boathouse. We'll see how they decide to get back into the site. It is going to be a 2-on-2. Cyber Cage goes down. They start pushing through. They spot out Orb initially. It's all down to 1. It's CREA who got things started, taking down Carlos. CREA on 30 HP, not able to survive.
This is no problem.
So Team Mixwell, they almost had the round, but it will be Team Draken coming out on top. I really like the play from, I think it was Fatino early on, or no, it was Patitek who was up on top of the wall. I loved the look because the owl drone flies past and doesn't look to the left. So he's able to stay on top of that wall, gets the initial kill, and then continues to stay in that position. They don't anticipate that with all the action coming that direction that he'd stay, but he does. He's got concrete shoes and he was not moving. And it ended up working out for at least one more kill, ultimately falling on the push.
Now Team Mixwell, they've got guns. They're locked and loaded, hoping to do some damage in the upcoming round. Of course, Team Draken are sitting pretty, but they've got a couple more rounds to go to make sure that they close this one out. It's going to be close, let me tell you. So far, it's going to be a standard fan out here from Team Draken, looking to have control of every choke point. But Team Mixwell, they're poised and looking towards the A site. Seem to have worked for Team Draken in the previous half. Let's see if it works for Mixwell in this half.
There's the Hunter's Fury coming out here from Team Mixwell. Bonkar at least dodges that for the time being. They try to make their way in. The ult's going to get popped as the knives come out here for Mixwell. Mixwell only delivers one blade before switching back to the gun. It's chaos on the site, but it's Team Mixwell coming out on top. It's down to just one. It's Carlos trying to sneak through the door before it comes down. Can't quite get there in time. The spike will be planted, and it's going to be a 1-on-3 for Mr. CEO.
Carlos, seen him do it before. Can he get it done today? The smoke gonna put himself in a bad position, but it's Fatino through the smoke. An unlucky headshot, but lucky for Fatino. And now it is map point here for Team Mixwell. Carlos, he's had some good brawl performances, but can never make it to a long playoff run. Looking to not be down and out here. His team alongside him going to try to claw back because their backs are against the wall, and Mixwell are looking to close this out now.
CREA wants to get things started with an aggressive paranoia, and oh no, Bonkar. Bonkar could have been an easy kill early, eventually does get traded out. Eccles with a response to try and help out the squad. After his teammate went for that early aggressive play, the paranoia came through, and he was just stuck in the middle, unable to see anything, just held his ground and hoped for the best. Somehow survived way longer than I would have expected, but eventually was dropped. So it's a 4-on-4. Sage Res is available for Team Draken, so there is an opportunity to take their fallen comrade and bring them back into the fold. And with the position of that kill being so far behind the play, we're likely to see the res.
Use the owl drone to scout out the site. Hearing that might give a little bit of information to Team Draken. Carlos already on the rotate. They're going to get an aggressive. The Tailwind going to take down Eccles. In this round, already not going to be starting off hot. Carlos gets aggressive, already makes his way onto the site, but they spot him out through the smoke, and now it's down to 2. Draken and Patitek. If they don't come back out through this, that's going to be the end. This map at hand. It's going to be 1 with the Blade Storm, but Fatino will take him down. All up to Patitek. He's got the rest. He's got the Spectre. Takes one down. And now the 1v2 Recon Bolt. Sorry, the Shock Bolt. Going to try to take him down or chip away some of that damage. And from behind, remember to check your corners. Patitek. It is davidp that takes him down. And Team Mixwell win the one of their first best of 3s of the tournament.